4 Syrian Kurdish fighters are recovering from a chemical weapons attack in Aleppo. That's according to the Kurdish YPG forces, who sent us footage from a Red Cross hospital in the embattled area.
They show symptoms of gas poisoning, including vomiting, coughing and weeping eyes. They were only able to survive because the gas was released at some distance away from them.
Earlier, the Kurds showed a video of what they claim was a cloud of yellow phosphorus rising from the site of a rocket attack in Aleppo. A Kurdish spokesman gave us more details.
The rockets missed their targets and fell in areas where there are no civilians. However, the yellow smoke from the explosion suggests chemical weapons were used. People in the area described the smell of rotten onions in the air. This means the rockets were tipped with a toxic substance. Syrian armed opposition groups launched the rockets into the Sheikh Massoud neighborhood of Aleppo, where our troops are stationed. Among the groups involved in the attack was the Brigade of Sultan Murad, the battalions of Sultan Fatih, and the Islamic movement of Ara ash-Sham. We have received verified intelligence information from sources inside these rebel groups that chemical weapons were indeed used. We also have credible information pointing to delivery of sarin gas shipment to the area from Turkey. Everything points to the use of chemical weapons. The site where the rockets fell is currently difficult to access because it lies on the front line between Kurdish troops and armed rebel groups.
Let's take a closer look at the chemical weapons supposedly used in the assault. Yellow phosphorus is an unpurified form of weaponized white phosphorus. Both are highly toxic and are banned under international law from use in civilian areas. The chemical causes horrific injuries similar to napalm. White phosphorus has been used in war zones by countries including Israel and the US, often leading to collateral damage.
Any use in an urban area, it seems, would violate international law. This is something that should be investigated internationally. Human rights groups and the United Nations should be investigating right now. It's a good thing there's a ceasefire, and it's a bad thing that some elements want to stop that ceasefire and get back to having war.
Kurds have been targeted with chemical weapons in the past. Dozens were wounded last month by an alleged Islamic State chlorine bomb in Iraq. Earlier, a source in the global chemical weapons watchdog said ISIL unleashed a toxic agent on Kurds during another incident back in August. A Turkish MP claims toxins were smuggled to ISIL through Turkey, while the government failed to investigate. Ankara denies the accusations.
Chemical weapon materials were brought via Turkey to Syria and then put together in ISIL camps there, which was known as the Iraqi al-Qaeda at the time. We have recordings to confirm this. The phone recordings in the indictment showed all the details of how the shipment was going to be made from A to Z. Everything was discussed and recorded. Despite all this evidence, the suspects were released.
Islamic State can now produce its own chemical weapons, according to a recent revelation from the director of the CIA. Former FBI agent turned whistleblower Colleen Brawley, who we heard from a moment ago, says other terrorist groups could have access to such weapons.
If you go back to 2013, the United States government was blaming Assad for having used sarin on his own people. Possibly even back in 2013. It was the terrorist groups that staged that attack of sarin in order to get the United States to enter into the fray in Syria. And I would imagine that if Islamic State has access, many of these other groups could have access as well.